You talk about Adolf Hitler a lot. You've tweeted some stuff about him recently. This is a controversial statement. I want to get your thoughts on it. You said, quote, Hitler was right about gays and transgenderism. It's a mental sickness. Why would you say being gay is a mental sickness?
Yeah, I don't think you're born gay. I think that's something that you develop over time. And when I said that, here's the thing. For your audience that might not be familiar, they had a book burning, right? And in the book burning, they got rid of a bunch of books that, had pornography, transgenderism. Obviously Weimar Republic back then had a bunch of issues where you had a bunch of gays, like where they were trafficking children, etc. Right? Child prostitution was rampant. It was at the Versailles Agreement after World War I, where Germany was literally at the worst. So when they came in and they did the book burnings and they got rid of this, I agree with that. I think, open homosexuality is extremely problematic for a thriving society. So when I said Hitler was right about gays, whatever, that's what I was referring to.
So you think like somebody like Richard Simmons was born straight, and you think one day these people just wake up in the morning and say, hey, I'm attracted to guys now. You think that's the way it works?
I think it's something that's developed. Yeah, I think it's something that's developed. I don't think you're born.
So men, we're all attracted to women when we're born, and then one day we just wake up and we develop a need to be with other men and be attracted to men. Is that
Or the other thing too is, if you do have these strong inclinations, you don't have to actually act on them, right? There's people that might have gay inclinations. They say, you know what? No, this isn't right. This is wrong.
But wouldn't that be like telling a straight person, hey, if you have feelings of you wanting to have sex with a woman, Myron, you should never have sex with a woman? I don't think you would agree with that. I'm assuming you're straight. I don't know, but I'm making that assumption. Isn't that saying the same thing? Hey, Myron, you shouldn't have sex with women. You would tell them to F off. That's what I would. I mean, I would say mind your own business, right? That's what I would say.
Sure. I mean, here's the thing. Like, I don't have a problem with if gays want to go ahead and, have their civil unions. I don't think we should allow them to get married. But if they want to have their civil unions and they want to do what they want to do, that's fine. My problem when it comes to homosexuality is the open homosexuality with like the gay pride parades, them dancing in the street on, in major cities on the main road, saying that these are family friendly affairs, and having them dancing in thongs. That's where it's problematic for me. If people want to be gay, I actually don't care about that. I really don't. I don't like open homosexuality and open transgenderism where we're pushing it out in front of children. That's my biggest issue with it.
Yeah, I guess the whole pushing it out in front of children, if people are forcing children to be gay or forcing children to be transgender, if there are actual examples of that, then I would agree with you. I don't want that either. I think most people, and listen, I'm not gay, but I have no problem with gay pride parades. I think most gay people would probably say, Myron, we're being happy for who we are, and we're a people that have been, I don't know if oppressed is the right word, but they have been marginalized, right? There are gay people that are marginalized. For example, if somebody said, well, you're straight, Brian, and because you're straight, you're mentally sick, I obviously we would disagree with that. I don't think somebody's mentally sick for just being different than you or different than me. I guess that's where we disagree.
Sure. I mean, like I said, if people want to be gay, that's fine. I have an issue with it being open. I think it's extremely problematic. Children are extremely influenced. We've seen like, a tenfold increase in kids that identify as LGBTQ since,
Let's talk about that. That's an important point that you just brought up, and I'm glad you did. I hear this from Candace Owens all the time, right? Why are there so many gay people in society now? Why are there so many transgenders in society now? I have a perfect answer, and you can tell me whether you disagree or not. It's because I think there are less bigots in this country now, and while there are still some, most people find it socially acceptable. Not all, but most people, and more people are more comfortable in their sexuality. All the people throughout the years that have been afraid to come out as who they are, I feel really bad for those people. So I don't think it's that there's just more people that are gay or more people that are transgender. It's more of there are more people that are more comfortable in their own skin because less people will attack them for their sexuality or being transgender. Do you disagree with that?
No, sure. Yeah, you can absolutely make the argument about that, it's been fairly normalized and it's okay for you to come out as gay and more people will feel comfortable doing it. But I also do think there's a portion of people that, potentially been influenced with this, right? With the emergence of social media, the ubiquity of it, how people are able to easily access TikTok. You can get into a community and get involved with like-minded people. So, every major city nowadays has gay neighborhoods, right? Like in Miami, we have a big gay population here. New York has a big gay population, San Francisco, and so on. But, like I said, my biggest thing is I just don't like the big gay pride parades. I don't like the transgenders reading to children. My thing is, I think children are very easily influenced, excuse me.
Yeah.
And that's where my issue is.
So do you also have an issue with like a Lauren Boebert or some of these MAGA Republicans giving their young children or young kids AR-15s to hold in their hands when they're like 5 years old? Like, what do you think is more harmful to kids? A drag queen reading books to kids saying, be happy for who you are, be who you are, and treat people with respect, or handing a 5-year-old an AR-15 in a Christmas photo? What do you think is more damaging to kids?
I think the transgender person reading a book is a bit more.
Has anybody died? Has anybody died from a transgender reading a book to a child? Do you have any evidence of any child that has been violent? Okay, go ahead.
No, I didn't mean sure as in they died from it. Okay. No. I was going to just simply say that a gun is a tool. It's no different than giving your child maybe a knife to teach them how to cut something. Like, I think if you give them proper gun safety and you teach them, hey, this is how a gun operates, etc., point in a safe direction, finger off the trigger, always make sure it's not loaded, etc., treat it as if it's loaded. I think if you teach this to your child at a young age, I think that's actually very important. And
hey, I'm with you on that. Gun responsibility is very important. But I guess the point that I'm trying to make, Myron, is there's no, at least you can tell me, there's no evidence that drag queen reading has killed a child. We have school shootings right all over the country. And my problem with some people on the far right is they have no solutions for all the gun violence in this country. They want to talk about banning books and they want to talk about drag queens as if the sky is falling, but they don't want to talk about gun control. If it's not the leading death in children, it's certainly one of the leading causes of death in kids.
Well, yeah, no, but here's the thing, though. A couple of the past shooters, were identified as transgenders, right? This is what I mean.
We're talking about 1 or 2 shootings out of like literally thousands of mass shootings in this country. So to blame mass shootings on transgenders, I don't think that's a fair argument, with all due respect. There are 1 or 2 transgenders that committed mass shootings. It didn't happen in Sandy Hook. It didn't happen in Columbine. It didn't happen in the Parkland shooting. It didn't happen in Uvalde, Texas. These are usually predominant white 18, 19, 20-year-old kids that can walk into a gun store and buy thousands of rounds of ammunition and buy an AR-15 with absolutely no training. But I don't hear MAGA Republicans talking about. They want to blame it on transgenders, or they want to talk about how, well, good guy with a bad guy, more guns are the answer. That's my problem with it. Why bring up transgenders, Myron, when talking about mass shootings across the country, when it's minuscule when you look at all the mass shootings?
Because it was relevant to the topic, because we were talking about transgenders and danger, and you were saying that. So that's why I said, look, the past couple of school shootings actually were transgenders, right? And and here's the thing, that's not my solution for the gun problem, is like, oh, we got to get rid of transgenderism. I was just saying because it was relevant to the conversation.